All right, folks, we are back live, streaming at prisonplanet.tv and Infowars.com right now. And I'm going to play this clip of Joseph Pitts, a representative out of Pennsylvania, really calling out the elite's eugenics program, and Ginsburg, Judge Ginsburg, in particular. So let's go to the clip right now.
Thank you. For what purpose is the gentleman from Pennsylvania? Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, last week's New York Times Magazine featured an interview with Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Some of her comments were absolutely astonishing, coming from a sitting Supreme Court justice. But the most disturbing comment came in reference to abortion. In reference to Roe v. Wade, the infamous Supreme Court case, she said this, quote, "Frankly, I had thought that at the time Roe was decided, there was concern about population growth, and particularly growth in populations that we don't want to have too many of," end quote. I cannot imagine any acceptable context in which a serious person could refer to populations that we don't want too many of. This eugenic way of thinking debases the value of all human life. All people are created equal and deserve the most fundamental right to life, no matter what race, religion, or socioeconomic background. I am shocked that a member of the Supreme Court believes that a compelling reason for the legality of abortion is because our society wants to reduce the growth of specific populations. Justice Ginsburg's comments are an assault and insult to the values of the American people. I yield back.
Amen, brother.
Is expired. What purpose does the gentleman from...
I mean, exactly. All men are created equal. You should not be debasing any population based on race, creed, economic situation. It's absolutely ludicrous. You know, you can come up from nothing, folks. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to work towards a goal. You got to stop sitting on your hands and why me and crying and eating bonbons on the couch watching Jerry Springer and Ellen all day. I mean, that's the bottom line. Get off your duff and do something. There are so many victories that we've had. And there have been some losses lately, by the way. I mean, big time. Oh, they'll never pass the climate bill. They did it. Now it's going to the Senate. Oh, it'll never pass in the Senate. Well, if we don't do something, it's going to pass in the Senate. Oh, they'll never bring in a judge who openly writes a book called America's Deadly Obsession, and no one will call her out on it. A book that literally says that we don't have a Second Amendment and only the military should have firearms. And nobody says anything on the floor while she's going to be the next Supreme Court justice. They're just going to confirm her. It looks like it's on a fast track, and they want to keep going to that wise Latina woman. All right, well, if you're going to go to the wise Latina woman comment, why don't you take it the step further, the step that needs to be taken, and say, wait a minute, what's really disturbing is you're a member of La Raza, but not just a member, a council member, which is an organization solely based on race. You know, I'm all for this. Let's come together. Again, I'm not for eugenics. I don't want to see any race wiped out. I think it's unbelievable, the thought that I'm superior to somebody because of the way I look. My physical attributes. I mean, could you be more ignorant than that, than to believe something like that? But no, she believes it. That's the thing. And no one is stepping up to the plate. No one's asking the tough question. And the tougher question is the Second Amendment question, folks. And she's just going to get it. Look, I'm going to take calls based on this eugenics comment and the eater robots. That's pretty much what I want to stick to right now. Do a little bit of a news blitz, and we'll take your calls at the 20 marker, and the 20 after marker. House panel passes health bills. Critics slam cost. See, this is going to cost us all sorts of money. Again, as the economy crashes, as there are less and less jobs, as there are no more benefits, as they begin to take your house away, they are going to jack the cost up of health care. They are going to jack the cost up of your home based on this climate bill. They're going to come in and say, you know what? You're not electricity efficient. This is going to be on your dime. You have such and such a time period to fix it. If you don't, you're going to be heavily taxed, or we're going to take your house away. And then they're going to up the price of energy so that once you do make the changes, you're still going to be paying 3 to 4 times more. It's the open plan. It's something we discuss on this show. And they're saying over $1 trillion. Over $1 trillion. But, I mean, it's not real money. They just print it out of nowhere. Meanwhile, they can now have home interventions. No big deal. Home interventions for the swine flu. And by the way, this one's out of The Guardian. This is UK, but I try to keep a global look on this swine flu thing because it's under the World Health Organization, UN control, and we are at WHO level 6. We've been there officially now for over a month, I believe. Over a month. And they are taking the steps right now to say you're taking the shot and you don't have a choice. Remember, in Canada, they're going to start with the schools just like here. Catherine Sebelius is on record. That's the head of Health and Human Services. For those that don't know, just look into it. They are going to make your kid's school a mass vaccination center, so they get the kiddies first. Then the parents have to come in and get their kids. Oh, do you have your shot? Oh, well, you got to make an appointment too. We need to keep tabs on you as well. But in Canada, they've already figured out that the 18 to 30 crowd isn't going to go for it because they're too busy drinking and having fun and not caring. So what are they going to do? They're going to go to where they're drinking and having fun and not caring. That's right. They're going to make makeshift vaccination centers out of the bar. That's right, out of bar strip. How dangerous is it to inject toxins into somebody's body while they're inebriated on alcohol and God knows what else? But that's the loving government for you. That's what they're going to do. And then I guess the people that they can't get through all these different programs, it's going to be the old knock. Hey, did you take that 3 mandatory shot? But meanwhile, they have to fearmonger that this is going to shut down schools, this is going to shut down work, this is going to hurt the economy. Swine flu may keep some schools shut in September. Uncertainty over the spread of pandemic could keep pupils away at start of autumn term. Some schools in England could remain closed in September if the swine flu pandemic escalates over the summer. See, it won't. What will happen is they'll say, man, we just beat it. And now the kids are coming in. Let's nip this swine flu thing in the bud before it gets cold and it comes flu season. So again, they have to fearmonger right now, but they're building the infrastructure where every kid is going to have to take this shot. And I'm warning parents out there. I mean, if there's one thing I tell people with kids, and I've been doing it. In fact, my landlord was over yesterday. He was replacing my dryer. He had his son with him and his grandson, actually. And I said, look, if there's one thing I can tell you, it's don't take the swine flu shot. You got a family, man. Don't let your kids take it. It's a bad, bad idea. What do you mean it's a bad idea? I'm like, well, in 1976, 60 Minutes in 79 had to do a story that in 76, when they injected people with the swine flu vaccinations, and it caused mass paralysis and death. I'm not sure which I'd rather have. Actually, I am sure. I'd probably rather die than be a quadriplegic. And that's no offense to quadriplegics out there. I know we've got a ton listening, I'm sure, or people that'll be offended, but I cannot imagine having to go through life without the use of my arms and legs, because the elite run a eugenics program where they're poisoning the population, and they made me take a shot that I obviously didn't need. And then they hype up the amount of deaths from swine flu. Remember the first couple deaths? First of all, it was piggy flu, and it'd come from Mexico. But then they couldn't find any pigs with it in Mexico. Then the story came out weeks later after they said it was from Mexico. No, well, actually, it was a pig in Canada from a Mexican migrant worker. No proof, just a story. Zero proof. Meanwhile, the first person that dies in the United States from swine flu, and I haven't seen a pandemic, I haven't seen people with masks on, I haven't seen people getting extra sick, was a 2-year-old boy who was from Mexico, wasn't even a U.S. citizen, had all these health problems beforehand, had been in and out of hospitals his whole life, and may have had this swine flu, which is really 3 types of flu. It is 1 part bird flu, 2 parts swine flu, 1 part human flu. Look it up. Regular. That is open. I think that's even on Wikipedia. But by this time, so many people are brainwashed that this comes from pigs, and they're going to have to slaughter all sorts of animals because of it. You tell that to the normal person, they're like, no, man. You see that All-Star game? Obama can sure pitch a ball. Threw that ball real good, like my president. All right, let's jump to some other news. Mark Cuban insider trading case thrown out. This is out of Reuters, but we have a story over at Infowars.com right now. That's right. Mark Cuban had been threatened with insider trading in Texas after one of these guys started threatening because he was thinking about funding the Loose Change Project. And they had a big email exchange, and then they said, we're going to do it anyway. But now a U.S. court judge threw out insider trading case against Dallas Mavericks basketball team owner Mark Cuban on Friday, but gave the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission a month to file an amended lawsuit. Cuban, listed by Forbes magazine as one of the 400 richest Americans, faced civil charges that he acted on non-public information when he sold his stake in internet search engine company Mama.com to avoid more than a $750,000 loss. U.S. District Judge Sidney Fitzwater gave the SEC 30 days to file an amended complaint. If the SEC can allege that Cuban undertook a duty expressly or implicitly. See, this is for $750,000, and this is a pretty honest guy. This is a guy that does put out cutting-edge products. Magnolia Pictures, not everything they do is great, but at least they're challenging the system. And they're worried about $750,000. We got people stealing trillions right now. Let me repeat that. We got people stealing trillions while you struggle to make your house payment. While you're still overpaying for gas, even at it's like $2.40 right now. It shouldn't be $2.40. And I got a clip on that. I don't know if it's going to make the new Obama film, but we got a representative going there. What is up with this? It's like the supply is up. The demand is lower. We should be paying a lot less. What's going on here?